There's a lot of personal development that can happen when you look for, get, and start working your very first job. And that's especially true if your first job's in like retail or food service. Whew. Along with a lot of personal development, these are 3 ways that mindfulness really helped me not only land an entry-level position, but within 1 year, promote my way up to an executive level assistant store director. Mindfulness is all about self-awareness, and for me, that was a big factor in what allowed me to look for a job that aligned with my personal values, allowed me to make intentional actions so that way I could rapidly meet my goals, and help me give genuine answers during both interview processes, both for the entry-level position and for the assistant store director position. And stay till the end because I'll also let you know how mindfulness helped me decide that it was time to leave that job. I have another video actually talking about my whole experience in quitting my 9-to-5 job. So if you want to hear more about that, click on the video. And with that, let's jump right in. So fresh out of college, bachelor degree in hand, I interviewed for my first job. And this is first job that wasn't a work study on campus. And so what I had originally done was I actually interviewed for that executive assistant store director position from the get-go, and I didn't get it. So my next plan of action, because plan B is always good to have a plan B, I'll put that out there, was to then go through and go in an entry-level position and work my way up the ladder instead. This is where self-awareness became so important for me to really hold on to as I was going through and figuring out what I wanted to do. Because even if I knew this wasn't my ultimate long-term goal, I was aware of the skills that I needed to develop and the experiences I needed to have. And going with that job, I knew I'd be able to hit both of those goals and at the same time put myself in a better position in the future too. And this is where self-awareness without judgment becomes so imperative. And it was super important for me to be aware of this as well. Knowing that I was going into an entry-level minimum wage position, and this was at the height of the pandemic, with my newly minted degree in hand, I still had to make sure that I was being aware of what I wanted to do long-term, knowing that this was a stepping stone to that. So it was important for me to be conscious of my decisions and my actions. And this is for all of you as well. So if you're in a starter position or if you have minimal experience, use everything you can. And this is where self-awareness without judgment, the core pieces of mindfulness, come into play. Knowing that if you are looking towards your goals, looking towards the long-term objective, use everything at your disposal and improve what you can so when that time comes and when the opportunity presents itself, you'll be ready. And that's how, for me, being aware of my values, my principles, and my goals allowed me to intentionally plan out what I was going to do and be very intentional about how I presented myself to upper management as well as to the others around me on my team. And this is where intentional action comes into play. I talk about the whys and motivation actually in another video, so if you want to hear a little bit more about how I use those to really determine what I'm going to do, feel free to check that one out. But knowing my why and my motivation was super important and super helpful in allowing me to determine what actions I need to take and what opportunities I needed to create so that way I could reach my goals. And one of those goals was increasing my value, so investing my time into the team and into the company so that way I would be able to make myself an invaluable asset to them. Quick tip. So for those of you who are looking for promotions, looking for raises, and looking for jobs as a whole, you want to always keep in mind what are you doing to add value and how are you making yourself invaluable to your employer. And this is something that more often than not is also taken into account when doing those interviews and when consideration is being put up. Because it's not only what value are you adding, it's also who you know. These are 2 factors that in balance are able to help make sure that you are giving yourself the best possible chance on getting those raises and getting those promotions and getting those jobs. Continuing on, with intention at the forefront of my mind, I was able to focus on my strengths and how I was going to use those to add value to the team. And at the same time, I was also able to see what opportunities and what chances were being presented that allowed me to improve upon my weaknesses so that way I become more well-rounded and developed. And I also want to emphasize that genuine good intentions is always something that will be recognized in due time. While taking on special projects and new opportunities was a big advantage for myself and was part of my long-term goal and plan, I was still able to add value to my team and to the upper management so that way I was providing the best assistance that I could all around the store. The important thing is that those who climb the ladder must begin at the bottom, and opportunities present themselves to those who prepare. Being genuine, being forthright, and being honest were things that I found valuable, but also when it came time for interviews, those were things that I know the employers also looked for in me. When I applied originally for the entry-level position, I had actually been very honest and let them know that I had applied for assistant store director position and I didn't get it. One of the big key things that I got to focus on was saying, this is where I know I lack something, and it is experience, and I want to be able to then go into the front, experience as much as possible and learn as much as possible, so that way when it comes time, I'll be able to give my best and know that I'll get that promotion. Using self-awareness and using the project history checklist, I was able to not only interview for a promotion to one level up, I was able to take it even further and get a double promotion instead. That opportunity presented itself because of the history and the accomplishments I was able to do in my time there. And I was very genuine in answering the questions they had for me. If there was questions about what I had done, I had a list of projects I had accomplished as well as my own stats. So knowing what I had done for the store, what I had done for the company, and what I had done for the team. These were things that I let them know openly that, hey, it was very intentional, but I also knew that it would be very valuable to you guys. So I wanted to make sure that I was essentially getting two birds with one stone here. And for all of you as well, I will say, as long as you are being honest and genuine in why you want to do a certain project or what your ultimate long-term goal is, that is only going to be something that will benefit you, knowing that it will give you clarity over time. Because trust me, it is horrible when you are dedicating time to something that is sucking the soul out of you. I don't recommend it. And those three factors together, so the self-awareness, intentional actions, and a plan that met my long-term goals, and being genuine about what I accomplished and why, these things were what allowed me to promote within 1 year to that executive management position. In simple ways that I encourage you guys to do this too is, if you are looking at getting a promotion, if you are looking at getting a raise, if you're looking at getting your first job, take time to think through the why behind it. Why do you want that position? Why do you want that job? What's in it for you? Because this is something that, especially in today's world, is super important for us to know as employees. Because again, it sucks if you dedicate a lot of time, energy, and the pieces of your life that you enjoy start to, go down because you're spending so much time in something that you don't enjoy. And for me, that was me mindfully quitting my job when I found the values no longer aligned with what I wanted to do, and the goals that I had intended, I knew that I could accomplish elsewhere without sacrificing my quality of life. Comment down below if you've ever thought about quitting your job, because I know I'm not the only one. With all three of those skills put together, mindfully quitting my job became a no-brainer for me. It's never by any means an easy choice. It's always going to be something that you have to weigh the pros and cons of. And with practical optimism, I believe personally for me, it was for the best, and everything will turn out better in the end because of it. What may be best for you may not always feel like the best thing in the moment, and that's perfectly okay. And what's important is to also not judge yourself for what position you are in. Mindfulness is self-awareness without the judgment. And in my next video, I'll dive deeper into that. So in keeping everything simple, subscribe if you haven't already, give this video a like if you found it fun and informative, follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at KES Studios, and I will see you all in my next video.